Hello, I want to show you two ways to take grape cuttings, how I prepare them, how I prepare the planting soil, and why. It is now the end of the second month of spring. I have 6 cuttings here, cut at an angle of 30 to 45 degrees in city water that has chlorine and also lime. But this water has been in the sun for 2 days. I poured some phosphatidylate aluminum 80% into it so that it is absorbed through the veins. After 5 to 6 hours, I put it in another water without this substance. So I have 3 places in the yard for this. I will show you one of them, what I do. The last few minutes of the video have a summary and very important points. The aluminum I used earlier is absorbed by the plant and fights fungi from the inside. This is Brotofix, an agricultural fungicide. I pour it into the hole that I dig. Don't worry about the amount, because these holes will be filled with water 2 or 3 times until the time of planting the cuttings. Using fungicide is very important in planting trees because if the plant in question is affected by fungus and disease, it will have poor growth and even eventually die. So what I do is to create ideal conditions for the plant to grow. I will talk a lot during this grape cuttings planting tutorial video, but if you have any comments or questions, be sure to write them in the comments section for me and other viewers. Do you see the foaming? That's because I poured acid a month ago so that the soil could withstand the lime and alkaline water. I'll make another hole here. And another one here with the same conditions as the first hole. About a day ago, I show you one of the holes as an example. What I do is make a hole 50 to 70 centimeters deep by hammering in an iron rod. And then I fill the holes with water again. But why do I do this? Trees usually grow better on hills and are stronger and healthier because their root collar or trunk flare get less water and the soil under them has better drainage. But when a branch of a grapevine goes underground, it starts to grow roots around the nodes. So there's no such thing as a root collar or trunk flare that's above or flush with the soil. When you plant grapes like this, they're more resistant to water and temperature stresses. In drought, They have roots that are several meters below the soil surface. As I said before, I remove the cuttings from the solution and place them in plain water. They are almost swollen. There are 5 hours left until the cuttings are planted. If you do it at night, it is better at this time of year because it is very suitable in terms of temperature and humidity and lack of sunlight, but I do it near dusk so that you have a better view. I'll be back here 2 or 3 hours before planting the cuttings to take them out of the water. If you haven't watched the video of the fencing here, watch it. It wasn't like this before. Even after that video, we put last year's dried sunflower stalks in the ground and put the fence back on. Now it is time to take the cuttings out of the water and put them in the shade for 2 or 3 hours to rest. Because my plan is to put these cuttings in another solution that I will show you after. Note that the best water for plants in all cases is rain, spring, river, or well water. But since I don't have access to unadulterated well water here, I use purified city water. This water has a lot of chlorine, and the water here is also limescale. So I leave this water in a place where sunlight can help evaporate the chlorine for at least a day. I will take measures for the lime in the water later, but not now. It's about 5 p.m. now, and the grape cuttings have lost their moisture. I have soil here that says it's made from vermicompost and fish waste, which I know is a lie. I'm using this soil for the cuttings that I'm planting in pots so they can take root, and we'll see the results in the future. Normally, I have to measure the pH of the soil and water with a pH meter, and then add substances to the water to improve the soil. I fill 8 liters of a 10-liter bucket with water that has been left for a day. Well, I know that the soil here is alkaline, and every time I water the plants, this percentage increases and stabilizes, which means suffocation and poisoning of the plant to the point where the plant will no longer be able to absorb its iron and magnesium. The leaves of the plant turn yellow while the veins are green, which means severe iron deficiency, lack of green or chlorophyll, meaning that the leaves are not making food, and as a result, the plant dries out. To 8 liters of water, I need to add 2/10 of a cc of bioradicante solution, which is a product of Spain, a rooting solution that contains urea boric acid, iron sulfate, manganese sulfate, zinc sulfate, sodium molybdate, and the amino acid glycine. If used too much, that is, without adding water, or if the stem is left in the solution for too long, it will rot and eventually dry out. If used too little and left in the solution for a short time, it will take longer to form roots, and eventually the plant will dry out due to heat and loss of moisture. To do this, I place the cuttings in the solution for half an hour for now, and then pour the same amount of solution onto the soil of the cuttings 2 weeks later too. It's about 5:30 in the afternoon. These cuttings have been in the solution for half an hour. I take them out of the solution, and then I start planting. I choose 3 shorter cuttings for the pot so that I can put at least 70% of a cutting in the soil and leave 30% outside the soil. Well, as you can see, I have both hands on the camera. Where's the camera? That's right. Bravo. I'm holding it with my knees. Okay, the pot planting is finished. I water it until the soil settles. Then I put it in the shade. The soil moisture should continue until the cuttings take root, meaning the plant should not be water stressed. Let's move on to planting the cuttings in the main soil, that is, in the same holes you saw earlier. I remove the inner soil, place the cutting, and then pour light potting soil or leaf soil around the cutting. What I'm doing is trying to place the cutting in the center and have the soil cover all the sides of the cutting. Well, I'll go get the water. The sound you hear is the threatening sound of the white dog, the alpha. Hey, fan dog? I do the same type of planting in the remaining 2 holes. Okay, last one. This has never been the case here before. I think I filmed the field preparation. If so, I will upload it. Well, I've explained everything so far. 70% of the grape cuttings go underground, at least 3 nodes in the soil. Why so deep in the pit? Before answering, please like this video if you find it useful. Watch other videos and subscribe if you like. I don't like to repeat these things in my videos, but I need your support to continue this work. But the answer and the rest of the explanation, which is also important. Your grapevine will grow stronger, live so longer, and be more resistant to heat, drought, and cold. And these 2 weather conditions will not cause any problems for the plant. The next thing I will do in the next 2 days, I will put a shade over the cuttings until they start to grow leaves. On the light soil, I will add some clay to make it heavier so that it does not shift when watering, and also to retain moisture underneath. Most importantly, I will make a solution with Brotafix and apply to the outer 30% of the cuttings in a paint-like manner. Our work is done, but once the plant has taken root, what do you think should be done after the first year? The answer is very important. If you know, write in the comments section. Welcome to my rural life, ex-urbanite.